Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Really quick intro because we're losing daylight because it's after 6 o'clock. Every day we're losing time. So whole point of this video is this is going to be our first video on beta suspension. And it's really not even us doing it because we're sending this stuff back into beta. So this is Braxton. He's 13. Say hi.
Hey.
And last weekend he did his first race ever on a Beta 125. What'd you think?
It was good. It's just super stiff. I don't know. Hard, I guess, to ride it because it's so stiff.
Yeah, so Braxton's been riding a Super Mini all year and in the youth races. And we got this bike. This came right out of the Beta race department. So this bike was one of the XC3 guys, Jason Lipscomb, I think is his name. I'm sorry if I didn't get that right. But it's set up, I talked to the Beta guys today via email, and it's set up for a 195 pound with gear rider that's a AA XC3 GNCC guy. And of course we've got a 13-year-old that's just kind of learning the ropes of it. So what are you, like 110, 120 pounds?
Yeah, probably around there. 110, 120.
So the whole goal here is we're going to walk you through the website here later in this video. You go right into Beta's website, you go through all the screens, and I'm going to show you all this, and you pick out what you want to do. So this bike's already got full factory kit in this thing. I got pretty lucky, came out of the race department. They left everything in the suspension. It's just valved way too stiff for Braxton. So what we're going to do is he's going to go spin a couple laps at our house. We have like a 2-3 mile track here. Really good for wood stuff because it's pretty rooty, right?
Yeah, super rooty.
Super rooty, super tight and technical. And hopefully we can remember, because we have to take this off, box it up, send it into Beta, get it back, and then do another demo ride. But you got a good memory. We'll watch some of our footage from today before we do that. So we want to give you a before and after. That's the whole point of this video. So let's get Braxton out there before we lose any more daylight. Try to get a good view of this suspension right here.
Hard to turn around.
Yeah. Well, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
Definitely stiff though compared to your Super Mini.
for sure.
So let's get the suspension pulled off. Try to remember all this, keep it in your memory bank. And we'll come back out here in 2-3 weeks and do it all over again.
There's just so many roots. It's just bucking me around.
Yeah, well,
With the way the suspension is for how light I am
yeah.
in the seat, it's
We need to
just
get
not
it.
that painful.
We'll get it there. That's your first one though. And we'll get there. We'll get ready for NIO next weekend. All right, guys, if you bought into the program, you're gonna get a box like this. So let's show the box, Braxton. They're gonna send this to you, and this is where we're gonna lay the forks and then the shock right in the middle here. So what's cool with the Beta program is once you pay for it and initiate it, they're gonna get your address and send you this. And that way your suspension's not bouncing around in like a cardboard box. It's actually perfectly cut out. It's a suspension box. So what we're gonna do is take Braxton's forks off first. And for you guys at home, the first thing we do is loosen our axle nut. It's a 24 mil. And then we have the two 10 millimeter pinch bolts on both sides. So we'll slide the axle out. And then we have to take our brake caliper off. It's a 10 mil on both sides. And then that'll let this dangle. We'll take our fork guards off. They're an 8 millimeter. That'll come off. And then the last thing on the top is just gonna be our 10 mil pinch bolts on the top. And then the fork tubes will slide right out. So we're gonna do the forks first, and then we'll show you the shock. So the last thing I'm gonna do before we send these off is clean them. The bike from last weekend, the race was perfect. There was no mud, but I don't like to send stuff out dirty. I don't think it's fair. I don't like whenever we get stuff dirty at the shop, so we're gonna clean it really well. And that way there's nothing in there. The guys can open the box and be happy rather than upset with us. So, because it does make a difference. So you'll see in the box, there's two different cutouts. You can see the bottom down here, Brax, show this right here. This is cut out for this fork leg, and there was a little foam on top of it. So I'm gonna slide that right down in. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take these pinch bolts out because I don't want to lose these. So we're gonna take these bolts out and we'll keep these as well. Okay, pinch bolts are out. I just think it's smarter to keep them here. And we're gonna slide it down in. And then I'm gonna put this little last piece on top. Now I've had this box at the shop for like over a year. So if you don't have this in yours, don't be upset or shocked. I really don't know. So here's the top for the other one. And you can see this one is cut out for the brake bracket. So we're gonna set the other fork on that side. So now we're onto the shock, and it's just a 13 mil on the top and the bottom. Now I don't know if this shock is gonna come out without dropping the lower linkage. I might have to do that. So let's take the upper and lower shock bolt out first, and then we'll see what we gotta do to get it out of there. Okay, so keep in mind we're working on a Beta 125 two-stroke, so maybe your bike is different, but right now I can't get the shock out. There's really no way. The only thing that's out are the 2 bolts. So typically what I do is I'll take the silencer off. It's only 2 bolts. We'll take this off. And then down below here, I'm gonna take this lower wishbone and I'm gonna do this lower one. It's gonna let the link drop, and then I can turn the actual linkage this way. In between taking the silencer off and that, it'll let me kick this shock and pull it out. So let me get those 2 things off real quick. There we go. Now that the pipe can move a little bit with it. There we go, we got our shock out. So the same thing on the shock, we're just gonna clean it really good. And yeah, it says JL for the Liscombe, Jason Liscombe there. So we're just gonna clean it up good. It wasn't that dirty. It's not even, don't even really want any dust on there for the guys. So now we're just gonna take it and we'll slide it right down in its foam insert. And I don't see much of a top for this one. There's this piece, but that's gonna stick up in the box. So I don't think I need one on the top of the shock. So there we go. We got Braxton's forks and the shock in the box. Now we'll just put our shipping label on it and send it back to Beta. All right, guys, I've never done a screen recording before, but we're gonna give it a shot. So here we are, we're at betausa.com. Oh, geez, I just wanted to highlight it. So betausa.com is where we are. This is the main website for Beta. And as we go through the options, there's Shop Now, so you can look up accessories, you can look up your parts. They have a whole support tab, but what we're doing is the suspension one right here in the middle. So we're gonna click on suspension, and it brings up a whole separate window. So over here, it still has the original window, but obviously suspension we're working here. And we're gonna enter the program. And what's cool with this is if you're buying a new Beta, like say you want a lowering kit or have it revalved, they'll do it for you before it ships to the dealer. But what Braxton's doing is he's upgrading his current Beta suspension. So we're working in this box here. And so we're gonna start our build. So step number 1, we're gonna choose our bike. Is it a brand new bike? Do they still have it before it ships to the dealer? Or is it a bike that's already been ridden? And what's cool, if you look over here, it goes all the way back to 2016. And I think prior to that was the Marzocchi stuff, and that's probably why they stopped there with it. But Braxton is a pre-owned bike. It's a 2023, so we're going to click here. And you kind of just pick your model. So it's not an RX, it's not a motocross version. This is Braxton. He fits right in this category, so we're going to click here. And step 3 is going to be picking if you want to do like a lowering kit. So you just have to follow along with this. There's different sections here. So these bikes kind of get split up. 2020 to 2022 are going to be your 4 options on the bottom, and then 2023 to current is going to be your top 4 selections. So if you want a 1-inch lowering kit or a 2-inch lowering kit, you just have to read these and pick what you're doing. Obviously Braxton did not get his bike lowered. And then this is where if you didn't want a lowering kit, like what we did, we just skipped past it. So say you want your suspension upgraded, you want to get it revalved, and this is where you're going to be. So again, they're kind of splitting it up, 2020 to 2022 over here, and the 2023 stuff is over here. So 2 options for each. You can see this package is a little more expensive. It's $2,400 for that, but they're giving you an Olin shock there. So that's kind of cool. I would never pay for that. Whatever, it's cool. I think the KYB stuff is good. So Braxton's bike, like we talk about in our video here, it's already been modified by Beta, so I don't need to buy this package. But let's just click on it. So for $1,500, they're going to go through it. We still have to buy our fork springs separately. So you're paying $1,500 for their knowledge, their revalving and rebuilding. And if you go to the bottom here, this is where like it breaks it. Oh geez, it breaks it down into what they're doing for you. So like, you know, the forks, here's what they're doing: the compression valve assembly, rebound valve assembly, and then down here they talk about the shock, what they're going to do for you. So ton of bullet points and way over my head. Honestly, like I can't revalve suspension. I don't plan on it. I would have to go sit and learn from these guys for a really long time, and that's just not what I'm going to do. That's why these guys have this package. So let's say you want this though. Let's buy it. So here you're going to add to cart, and it puts up here in your little corner. We got a 1 in the box now. And so now we're going to move on to step number 5. So this is technically Braxton's step because we were just getting things serviced. I would have skipped 4, gone to 5 here. And KYB and fork shock service, that's normal customers. I had to choose this one for Braxton because this is Beta factory suspension internals. So with BFS is what he has. So this is what I would choose. But if you just want your shock serviced, just pay attention and read the right one. If you want your Öhlins stuff, Beta Öhlins stuff serviced, if you just want your forks serviced, it's so cool. Like you guys, like you should take advantage of this. Like Beta in-house, they'll just service stuff. They don't need to rebuild it. You ain't got to change your springs. They'll just service your stuff for you. So this is technically what I got, Braxton. So I would click here, add to cart. I'm going to skip it because I'm just trying to do an example here. So let's go continue shopping. And I think step 6 is going to be our fork springs. Yeah. So again, just follow along. Did you just purchase a lowering kit in the first step? That's where you're going to say, I need the 1-inch lowering springs or the 2-inch lowering springs. But for Braxton, he has a 2023 125. And oh, it's already kind of pre-filled out. Or maybe that's just because it's the first one in line. But that's what Braxton, I think that's what I chose. I don't know if I went here with him. I might have stayed there. So we're going to add that to the cart because they are KYBs, and put the 2 up there so because we just added another item. And we're going to go on to step 7. And KYB shock spring for a 2-stroke 125. That's Braxton. And this is, there's 2 different brands of shock springs for Sony here, but this is like the KYB version. And so sure, that's what we're going to add to cart. Again, I chose the right spring. I didn't have to choose a spring rate. It was already highlighted. It was the right one for him. Maybe I should go back and show you guys if it will. Like, you can go all the way up to 300 pounds. So send your stuff in. Don't feel like they can't work on your stuff. There's a lot of options there. So a ton of choices. And then let's see, final step. So I'll whiz through this. I don't want to make this video boring, but this is part of the build. So Braxton, do this, and then shop phone number is 716-753-2628. Shop address is 3617 Panama, Stedman Road. Don't know why. Maybe I'll need to do all this. How about 123 at yahoo.com. Haha. His age. Jeez, he's 13. He's like 5 foot, I believe. And the kid weighs 120 pounds. Rider ability level. This is where you pick your stuff. He's still an amateur level. He does GNCC, single track, hair scramble. We're going to skip those other boxes. Terrain, geez. What don't you see in a GNCC? Rock. Roots for sure. Sand and mud. Pretty much all the boxes. Preferred suspension stiffness. Gosh, he's still developing. I'm going to go soft. If it was me, I'd probably go a little stiffer. He does have a big tank on his bike. It's a 2023 Beta 125 RE. Additional weight info, I'm going to put he also runs a water pack. right? So I don't know. There, that's all I have to say on that. Suspension preference. Experienced rider with racing background. See, I don't think that's him. I don't want it stiffer. I'm going to say recreational rider for him. Suspension shipping location. To your address. It'll come right to your door. And this is my whole sales pitch in here is if you choose us as your preferred dealer, 3C's Recreation, we do earn like 5% of this, like as like thank you. I don't know, like Beta offers or dealers incentives. So like once a month, I'll see people around the country choosing us, and we'll get like a little credit on our parts invoice. So if you don't mind, I would appreciate it. It helps us make these videos that we're doing. So if you entered 3C's in there, we get a small commission. Has it been modified by Beta? Ours has. And then comments, fill it in. Tell them who you are, what you want to do. And right here, it's going to break it down. So we bought the package. We're going to do the right springs. It's like $1,800. That includes, I don't know if that includes the shipping. Let's go to checkout here. Okay, so I can't really go any further without entering my password and email. But literally at this point, you create an account. They go through the details and you pay. So that was the whole online thing with Beta. That is the whole suspension program right there in a nutshell. Hopefully I didn't go too fast, but I don't want to make the video too long because I think this was probably like 7 minutes. So let's get back to what we were doing in the workshop. All right, so Braxton, we got a suspension back from Beta. This is how they ship it back. We've actually been gone for a couple weeks, so it's gonna be good to get this on there. And it's getting dark out way too early. I think daylight savings is gonna affect us next week, so try to get some ride footage in before that happens. But this part of the video, we just wanted to show you what it looks like when it comes back from Beta. So check that out, dude. What do you think?
I don't know. Suspension.
So this is a shock. No, it's the same one.
It's been so long.
And then, yeah, it's true. It's been like almost a month.
If you would have left it, then you can see how Beta you meant to package it.
Yeah, they did. Yep, they got like the little covers in there and the forks back. So that's pretty much all this little clip's gonna be. We're gonna put it back on the bike, but we're not gonna show it. It's literally just putting the forks on, the wheels, the shock. And then, yeah, what is that? Let's see it. Old bladder. These are the old bladder, old bump stop, and all the old bushings. That's cool. Beta gave us all that old stuff in there. So thank you guys to Beta. You guys did awesome. Look how worn those bushings were. So that's cool. Oh, and the fork springs, because Braxton got different fork springs for his week. Might be a shock spring in here too. If they're doing, yeah, look at that. Oh, we even got like an order form. Let's see what this has to say. Open that up. Let's see what it says. So we got back. That's kind of cool. These pockets were there for like the stock stuff. Is it just a bill? Or is it like some stickers?
Yeah, stickers.
Let's see what that says. This might be the form that I filled out online. Yeah, so when we originally signed up for this, and I'm going to try to go over that on the website, give you guys like step by step. This is what we had put in there with what we wanted. What did I even say? Okay, so they just wrote in there like, this was Liscombe's original bike that they revalved for us and what they did to it. So it's super cool. Thank you guys at Beta. What do you say?
We set it up for 360 pounds.
360? Yeah, we went a lot lighter because I don't know how much he weighed, but he was a pro rider. Braxton, what do you like, 120?
118 like 3 days ago.
118, okay, literally, 120. So, all right, guys, we're going to get this on there, and the next video will be his helmet on his head. All right, guys, welcome back. We're finally in the woods. It's October 24th. I just looked. We filmed the original part of this video September 10th. So it's been a month and 2 weeks since we filmed him the first time he rode it. So, you know, we have like a week shipping from here to Beta. They take like 2 weeks to do the job, and then like a week shipping back from California to New York. And then we went on vacation for like 10 days. So the box made it back, then we left. So we just got back, got through all the stuff we had to do this week, and so we're finally getting to this video. So Braxton's going to do some laps. As you can probably tell from the first part of this footage to now, there's no leaves in the trees. They're all on the ground. So trails are a little sketchier as far as seeing all the different bumps and tree roots that we have. But let's flip this camera around and talk to Braxton. Crunching these leaves, walking over to you. So many of them. So you just warmed the bike up for a second. I haven't asked you anything yet about it. So how about now that the motor's warm, why don't you go ride it for a minute? And then do a couple quick laps like we did before, and we'll see if it feels any different to you. Little brother Caden. I'll let Braxton ride it for a little bit, and then we'll do the sag next week. So obviously the sag isn't adjusted in this, but it should feel way softer. I'm pretty excited to find out. So you know where all those little bumps are. Can you tell if it's any different?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, right from the get-go. As soon as I got on the bike, even whenever I was just warming it up, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. Well, it's a lot less like a board.
Yeah.
You can actually ride it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so much more soft and comfortable.
Yeah, so like, I mean, obviously it was 6 weeks ago, but it looked way smoother across this stuff.
Oh, for sure.
It's not bucking around. You're
Not
not
at
breaking
all.
traction, you know.
Yeah, it's really good.
And obviously the leaves are kind of like hurting, like seeing where the bumps are too, so you're kind of guessing more, you know.
Yeah.
Because this trail has, we just came through here with a saw and like cut, our side by side's pretty wide, so I didn't do the best job trimming stumps and stuff like that yet. So yeah, I don't know if it's any lower. You're pretty tall for being 13. You're touching, both toes are touching on the ground.
Yeah.
Obviously if you scoot to one side and keep one foot up on the peg, you got a pretty good grounding point there. So we had him set it up. You're 120 pounds. I'd like to thank the guys at Beta. What do you want to say?
I don't know, thank you.
Yeah.
And also, I think that maybe the softer seat also helped a little bit with the height.
Oh.
Because, like, it's a little bit softer, so it makes your feet feel at least a little bit lower, and a little bit more sucked in and comfortable, you know?
Yeah, the original
Definitely.
seat we had on this was really stiff. This is one of the factory Beta seats, so it's kind of ripped. We'll get a new cover on there, but yeah, I'm excited. We'll get some more time on it. We got to adjust the sag, so we have to adjust the balance of the bike with the rear spring.
A little bit.
But let's wrap this video up now, and then as we do the first race with it, I think we'll be able to give more feedback on that video. So
Okay.
I'd like to thank Bryce at Beta, the whole suspension team there. Thank you guys for fast and friendly service, and I'm excited to produce this video. Maybe we can recommend more people that way. So enjoy the ride and see you on the trail. So do you think you're faster on it now?
I could triple my lap time like that one that we rode at.
Triple your lap
Me and
time?
Lex were.
Yeah, you pretty much pulled over and said it was the stiffest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.